Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fastpitch Power. Season is about to start. All of our advanced pitchers and intermediate pitchers are getting ready for school ball, junior varsity, varsity. One of my top level pitchers contacted me about 3-4 days ago and said, "Coach, I've started to pitch live batting practice." And this particular pitcher is primarily a curveball pitcher, but what we're going to talk about today is going to hold true for any kind of movement pitch, and we've talked about it many times before. She said, "My velocity is really good, and I'm primarily throwing my curveball now as my primary movement pitch to the batters that I'm facing, and in doing so, I'm finding that the ball is drifting. It looks like it's starting to curve, but then it's drifting back over the middle of the plate, and it's getting hit hard. I don't understand exactly what's going on. I can't feel it." I had a pretty good idea of what was happening, but I made arrangements to meet with this particular pitcher, and I put her through her paces. And as she was going through her warm-ups, everything was fine. When she got back to the 8-foot circle and put the whole pitch together, then I could see exactly what was happening. We took some video, showed it to her, and it was clear, and this is a common problem, that when you're in a game, if you can't figure out exactly what it is that you're doing, is going to become a significant issue in commanding the strike zone, especially with movement pitches. And when I say commanding the strike zone, as it relates to a movement pitch, I'm talking about a pitch that is going to have late movement in the strike zone and then out of the strike zone, or one side of the strike zone to another side, or from the top of the strike zone for a drop ball to the bottom of the strike zone. So let me show you what happened. And we've talked about this many times before. Establishing a throw zone that is stable and not moving as you deliver your pitch. For this particular pitcher, we're talking about a curveball. So as she came off the pitching rubber and she established her body position for a curveball, here it is. As you can see, if I follow the path of my feet, and we've talked about this before, I am going to create a path for my hand that is shaped like a curveball. Here's what was happening with this particular pitcher. She's landing in perfect position. She's got her arm circled. She gets halfway down the throw zone. She starts to drive through and then rotates her hips. Look what's happening to my hand when that happens. If I get in position to throw a curveball, here I am. Circle, elbow to the back of the throw zone. As my hand comes around, short distance and time to my destination, which is here. As my hand, I want a real short, tight throw zone here. As I'm moving my hand here and driving through, I'm fine. If I take my drive through and I finish it with rotation, look at my hand. See what's happening to my hand? Your ball is going to do, going down the pitching lane, what your hand does in the throw zone. So as I move my hips to finish my drive through, my hand is no longer on the path that creates a curveball. It is flattening out. And even though I may have the correct spin on that ball, as it starts to go down the pitching lane, because my hips move this way, it is going to straighten out and it's going to spin in the middle of the plate. Not what a pitcher wants to do with a movement pitch. Screwball, similar situation. Come off the pitching rubber, land in screwball position. Now if I follow the path of my feet and I keep my hand close to my body, creating a shape of a throw zone that is shaped like a screwball, and I maintain that body position, I do not move that throw zone, I am going to have good late run on that screwball, and it's going to come in to a right-hand batter's hands and give them no opportunity to extend and drive that ball. So if I, conversely, I land in my screwball position, just slightly an inch or two to the left of the power line, and I start my delivery, and I start my drive through, and I rotate out, look what's happening to my hand. Instead of finishing here, all this is attached. As my throw zone moved, so did my hand. And it flattened out and made my ball start to go in this direction and then curve back over the middle of the plate. I can do this for any movement pitch. Drop ball. What I see with a lot of my advanced pitchers trying to throw the drop is I'll do this one sideways. I'll get into drop ball position, which is just a shoulder angle that is slightly lower than my fastball, but instead of maintaining that shoulder angle and getting through to the front side behind and below my glove, as I get halfway down the throw zone, I stand up. And look what happens to my hand. I stand up, and my hand, because it's attached to my arm, which is attached to my shoulders, is going to move upward with the upward movement of my throw zone. This is why it is so critical to maintain a stable throw zone. It has to do with body conditioning, and it has to do with understanding what optimal mechanics are for delivering any pitch it is that you throw. So we worked on this for about an hour, and next call I get this week is unbelievable bite I have on my ball. My throw zone is much more stable. I understand now what I need to do in game if I have to make that correction. So take video, especially in the preseason, and see what your body is doing in the delivery of your pitches. It will help you to become the best pitcher you can possibly be. I hope this has been useful for you. If you have any questions or any comments about your experience in this regard, I'd love to hear them. Talk to you next time, and good luck.